Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profit. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women and men around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients, because many can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales and unleash lasting profits. You will also have the opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. Back in the day, in my corporate career, at one point, I reported to the president, and he brought up the topic of, oh, well, you should do a QBR. And I went, a QBR? What's a QBR? He said, oh, a QBR is a quarterly business review. So let me put some context around that. Step back. We were talking about an existing client and how I wanted to continue to nurture that relationship, report on what we had provided to them, and to grow the relationship. And that's when this topic came up of a QBR. And I said, well, what's a QBR? And he told me it's a quarterly business review. And he said, you provide the information to the client on our SLAs, our service level agreements, the metrics, the performance. And then he said, you basically reconnect with all of the decision makers and you get them in the room so that you really go over and reinforce why they hired us in the first place. And I thought, okay, that's a great idea. And do we have a template or we have something to follow? And he said, well, no one's ever done a QBR here before. And I'm going like, okay. So as often occurred, I created the first quarterly business review for my client. And as I was thinking about the information he had given me, I realized, well, it's never about where you've been with your client or even where you are now. It's about where you're headed. So when I put the quarterly business review presentation together, I did pull out key metrics on performance and deliverables, where we were, really that's sort of like where we were. And then where we're at right now, initiatives that are being worked on, what's the progress, the status, any updates. And then I reserved the last half of the meeting for where are we headed? And specifically, where are they headed? What are their goals? What are their initiatives? What are their projects that they've got on the burner? And so I built the template. And our president actually came in for this first quarterly business review. And I have to tell you, he was so wowed. He then said, you got to train everyone else on this. And we're using your template to move forward. And this is a great piece. I actually got a big piece of business out of that quarterly business review from an existing client, which is always the easiest way to get new business is from an existing client. Anyway, so long story short, that is the power of quarterly business reviews, is what I just said. Did you hear it? I sort of snuck it in there. I got more business from an existing client, which is the easiest way to get more business. And it's usually the most profitable. All right. So let's dive in. Last week, I shared magnify your relationships and opportunities with genuine kindness. Today, I'm going to show you how to keep your client VIPs hooked with quarterly business reviews. Quarterly business reviews are a powerful tool. They're often called QBRs. They're a powerful tool to reconnect with your client's executives and decision makers. They improve client retention and provide opportunities to get on the ground floor of new initiatives. By the end of today's show, you will know how to use client thinking when framing your QBR, a winning formula for your QBR to unlock new business opportunities, and why QBRs foster stronger relationships and long-term client retention. By incorporating QBRs into your sales process, whatever you do, and that's the thing, whatever you do, whether you're a coach, an entrepreneur, a consultant, a small business owner, a large corporation, when you incorporate QBRs into your sales process while you're delivering a great product and service, you will expand your business with this proven strategy. QBRs give you a significant competitive edge since most companies do not have a QBR process. All right. Point 1, client thinking. Well, it always comes back to client thinking. It always comes back to client thinking. It sets you apart from your competitors by gaining an understanding of what's your client's motivations, emotional triggers, and why. In other words, what matters to them. At every stage of your sales journey, your client thinking evolves. Okay, so what's in their head? What are they thinking? Where are they at? You always need to be asking, what does my client want, need, or lack at this stage, at this juncture? Why does it matter to them? What's in it for them? So they can what? Fill in the blank. That what is the key. So they can ... Executing on your strategic plan, when founded in your client thinking, delivers profitable sales growth. QBRs are a tactical tool to leverage and foster sustainable long-term client retention and account growth. And with that said, I have to point out, I would be doing you an injustice if I didn't point out that there are 3 common things that I have encountered and continue to see from solopreneurs to small business organizations to corporate giants. And those are complacency, overload, and wherewithal. Complacency holds you back from responding to shifting market dynamics while missing opportunities to optimize and expand your sales with existing clients. It's the blinders that keep you from looking outside your comfortable paradigm and seeking your clients' insights to drive retention and growth opportunities. I want you to think about that book I recommended a few episodes ago, Who Moved My Cheese? Okay. Overload. Overload, it's ubiquitous. Everybody has overload, all the time. Juggling life, what's going on with our families, our kids, our parents, our partners, and everything at work, maybe the drama that's going on inside the workplace, and then with your clients, it's a lot. From business owners to sales directors to solopreneurs, the constant demands, firefighting, and decision fatigue take their toll. Some days are a maelstrom of sales chaos. Your hands are full, and it's hard to take a step back and look at how your sales value could be maximized for expanded growth. That's why having these tools in place and having it as part of your sales process makes it easy and natural to move right into delivering a quarterly business review. So that leaves us with wherewithal. It's literally not knowing where or how to start. That's why you're here. And what if you go down one sales path only to discover a dead end? What then? Your time, resources, and money need to be leveraged in the most effective and efficient means possible. You need rapid results and mid and long-term sales growth. So the whole point of what we do every week is that I never want you to feel frozen by overwhelm and uncertainty. Quarterly business reviews provide the framework to rapidly optimize your sales growth, processes. They say that right? And processes and profits. In addition, QBRs can identify gaps, areas of friction, and pain points from your client's perspective. You're there to listen. This provides you with the ability to make immediate process improvements and enhance your client experience. At the heart of QBRs, you are updating, thinking like your client, understanding what's important to them and why it matters. So together, you can take on your client's new initiatives and goals. Now, let's talk about the formula for your QBR. So there are 4 major sections of a QBR. First one is results. Existing new results from the last QBR. If you've never done one, then what are the results that the program, your product, your service has delivered? Comparisons and trends. What's going on right now? The status of ongoing initiatives, where you're at with a program that you're rolling out or a new service that you're delivering. Now, the kicker, half of the presentation must be focused on new objectives. New objectives. Let me get that right. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Not your objectives, but your client's objectives. What's going on in their world? And you're looking and listening for opportunities. And I have to tell you, this has been an incredibly powerful winning strategy for decades, for me personally, because I then hear that nugget, like, well, with one client, we're considering bringing in someone to for in-house design. You know, we spend so much money on all these little mini design projects with our design agency, and we're really looking at hiring somebody within, but we haven't gotten the approval to bring someone in from HR and for the budget. So more questions, you know, what is their budget for that? And what does that need to look like? Well, long story short, I was able to deliver on a proof of concept, a in-house person that we placed from our company to do that in-house design work for my client. They were our employee, so we paid all the benefits, the taxes, all that good stuff. But that person was on site every day doing work exclusively for that client, because there's all kinds of projects and things that get done that never get, for us, we were printing, never get printed. They're internal. They promote things for their clients, right? And this ended up being something that was just a 3-month proof of concept. It turned into a rolling renewal. And it was a great way to build the relationship even more, because we had our team member on site in their facility. So you're always looking for those new objectives that you can tie in. So let's go through some key pointers when you're developing your QBR and what you need to have it inside that QBR. So first, you need your client's buy-in for a predetermined QBR schedule. So you need to get that set up in advance. All right. And you must attain a commitment from the key decision makers and executive to participate in the QBRs. So when you think about strategic planning, so when you've closed the sale and you're doing your kickoff, this is where you put this in place. You schedule it right then and there for, and it doesn't have to be quarterly. Okay. It can be every 6 months. I would definitely recommend that first QBR with a, sort of a temperature check being at 3-month period. But then after that, subsequently, I always found it was more common to do them every 6 months. But it's going to need to fit your business and your clients. But get that predetermined QBR scheduled, locked in place with the key decision makers who will be attending, because they're not the individuals who normally execute on the product or service. You're working with someone else to execute your program or your products, whatever you're doing. But the key decision makers, they need to be in the room when you do the QBR. Now, as I said, don't get locked into thinking these have to be done every 3 months. They can be quarterly, yes, but they can be every 6 months, biannually. They could also be scheduled at the end of trial periods, and they absolutely should be. If you're doing a proof of concept or a statement of work, make sure this is already booked in everyone's schedule so that you can go over the results. And I recommend going over the results long before your contract needs to be either reviewed or extended. All right. Give yourself some wiggle room so that you can wow them. And it's just an automatic that we're moving forward with the proof of concept, that statement of work. And it can also be used at specific program or product or service delivery implementation milestones. Another key point, predetermine the key performance indicators, KPIs, or the results you will provide. Now, in whatever kind of business, product, or service you have, there are ways that you can provide key performance indicators. You absolutely can. And so if you're a client, you may ask them, you should ask them, you should ask your client to provide you with specific data points to include in the QBRs. Now, I want you to be prepared if the client does not agree or fails to provide good data or input or feedback. So let's say you're doing something where you're really working with your client on the communication within the team and the collaboration within the team. They may not have any specific data points that they can relate to, or they may not want to share things like absenteeism or their own employee reviews of performance, things like that. So you may not be able to get some of the data point, especially when it's on something that's, a little bit softer and, the frame. Now, I want you to think about this, though. There's always a way to really record how someone feels at the beginning, their feelings and emotions, in the middle, and at the end of when they're working through something. And you can, with that, show progress. All right. There's always a way. Invite your primary contacts, your management team, and the decision makers and executives and appropriate stakeholders within your client's organization. They need to be involved in this QBR. Make sure you've got that whole team that you're presenting to. All right. Another key point. I've already said it. I'm going to say it yet again. Spend at least half of the allotted QBR meeting time focused on the client's emerging needs and goals. This provides you with the opportunity to get in on the ground floor of any new initiatives as a trusted resource. This is a great opportunity for the statement of works, a proof of concept, putting a program in place for them, like I did with the on-site graphic design, so that they can see how it's going to work and they can fill a gap since they don't have approval to actually hire for that position, but they could pay a vendor to place someone there, and they could see how that was going to work and how that was going to develop. So it's a great way to get in on the ground floor of new initiatives, new goals, new projects. One other thing I want to really touch base on is that you're constantly being judged by what your client feels ought to happen. So it's vital that you manage the experience. All right. Plan your QBR presentation so that half of it is focused on the client's evolving needs and fresh objectives. Okay. It's always about the client's perspective and where they're going, where they're heading, what's changing, what's new. What do they have on their vision board to accomplish, to achieve? And when you focus on that, that really gives you that inside track of being able to expand your business with that existing client. Now, another key point that I want to make is this is not about you. Even though you're delivering on results and you're sharing those results, this is not about you. This is about your client, what they've achieved, what they've accomplished, and showcasing that accomplishment and the individuals on their team, on your client's team, who were part of this success, giving them the atta-girls and the atta-boys in front of their peers, in front of their boss about what has been achieved. I mean, this is so powerful. These are the people that you work with every day. And everyone wants to get that moment of like, wow, yeah, we did a great job. Look at all we've accomplished. So it's not about you. Your results are going to speak for themselves. It is about your client's perspective and what they've achieved, and really reinforcing why they hired you in the first place, why they love working with you, and why they're going to continue to want to work with you as you move forward and long into the future. Because at the end of the day, this really is about relationships, retention, and new opportunities. That's what QBRs are for. It's imperative to continue to foster your relationship with the decision makers and the executive team. Because when you don't, that's when you get left on the budget floor and you get snip, snip, because you haven't maintained that connection and really articulated their perspective of why it's so important that they have you as part of their team, as one of their trusted partners. Okay. QBRs enable you to get in on the ground floor of new opportunities. And your objective is to keep the door open as a trusted resource. You know, what's going on in their world? Maybe there's introductions or ideas that you can help them with or collaborate on. It may not be something that you directly receive business on, but if you are helping and serving your client, you are a trusted partner, a confidant. It directly speaks to your relationship, and it directly impacts your success to expand your business within your this client account and to maintain it over the long term. Now, here's a fun fact, because I said before, it's significantly easier to sell more to an existing client than to find new business. You can sell to an existing client 60 to 70% of the time. You just have to stay on top of this, and you have to be looking for those opportunities. You have to be creating those opportunities. Quarterly business reviews are the vehicle for you to stay in that forefront, to stay on top of what's happening in their business, so that you give yourself and them the opportunities to do more business together, to create more wins, more success, achieve more goals, and accomplish so much more than they ever thought of by working with you. Having a successful, thriving business is ultimately about the client experience. And this is the true area where businesses compete with each other to attract, secure, and nurture clients, foster expansion, and boost profits. Quarterly business reviews are an outstanding vehicle to communicate the value you deliver and the results the client has realized. Now, I want to go back and think about this, because you may be thinking, I don't know how I would ever use that in my business. Whatever you do, coach, consultant, entrepreneur, small business owner, big corporation, you can use QBRs. All right. You just have to think about them in a different way, because no matter what you're doing with your client, you are driving results. And you can ask questions that you go over with your client for points at the very beginning of working with them about how they're feeling, the emotions that they have, where they're at. Then you can ask those same questions midway through that first term of your project, your relationship, your contract. And those are the results that you can see. You can see tangible results on how they've moved from point A to point B, how they've started to bridge the gap of where they were to where they want to be, Those are results that you can document and articulate back to them so that they can actually see that same vision about where they were and how far they've come, and really visualizing the future of where they want to be and how they're going to easily be able to get there with you, with your help. So quarterly business reviews, they really reinforce the reasons your client hired you to begin with. Why are they working with you? And they provide that information in easily digestible facts and figures. Now, once again, how you frame that is going to depend on your specific product or service, but it's adaptable for everyone. QBRs are a vehicle to recognize and really provide that recognition to your clients' team members' accomplishments as well when you're working with a larger group. They provide a forum for you to ask questions and listen to the executives, to those decision makers. What's on that vision board? To look at existing areas for potential refinement or the evolving plans for the future. Never focus on what you did for them yesterday or today. Instead, focus on what you can and will do for your client in the future. By always including your management and executives in your quarterly business reviews, you're going to leverage the experience and the expertise that you have of working with their organization. You are a trusted partner. And this is the opportunity for you to discuss and learn and take action on emerging and important objectives of your client. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. My purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. On behalf of Petite to Queen, I've carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on and ignite your sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. The best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You will find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, we explored how to keep your client VIPs hooked with quarterly business reviews. The key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting your time, energy, and resources. You have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. I am truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. You can go to ptq.link/win-win. And everything we do, and we work with you at Get More Clients with Petite to Queen, it is designed for immediate on-the-fly implementation and for individuals committed to taking action to move their business forward. To learn more about all of the services that we provide, you can visit our website at petitetoqueen.com. You can also connect with me on our website, and to stay current on all of our insightful advice, breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients, you can sign up for our weekly Wisdoms newsletter at petitetoqueen.com. Now, next week on Get More Clients, we'll be discussing why the 3 R's of referrals accelerate your business growth. Make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing to Get More Clients wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. And if you love the show, please share it and give us a 5-star review. Very much appreciate it. I will see you next week on Get More Clients.